Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Two migrant workers from Chhattisgarh have been killed in a terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district, triggering a massive cordon and search operation to track down the attackers. Terrorists opened fire on the two non-local workers at a brick kiln in the Kulgam area. Deepak Ratre, 24, died after being shot, while the second worker, Bhupendra, succumbed to his injuries during treatment. Deepak had reportedly moved to Jammu and Kashmir around a year ago to work at the brick kiln and support his family. He was the sole breadwinner and is survived by his wife, one-year-old son, widowed mother and disabled brother. His family has alleged that the attackers questioned the workers about their identity, caste and community before opening fire. Let's talk about this and what does this mean for Jammu and Kashmir once again. Asking the caste and community before shooting civilians down reminds us of something that happened last year as well. General Sanjay Kulkarni, senior defense expert with us on the program. Major General Shashi Asthana, senior defense expert, also joins us. Mr. Ashwini Bhatt, Kashmiri activist, with us on the program. General Sudhakarji, geopolitical analyst, also with us on the program to talk more about this. General Asthana, I'll begin with you. Well, sir, this is obviously something that has happened in the past as well. It is not as large scale as it was in Pulwama last year. But the fact of the matter is that there seems to be a trickle-down effect of the way that Pakistan operated in Kashmir. They may have left enlarged, but the fact of the matter is that the locals, which were questioned during Pulwama, also continue to have some sort of a semblance from these networks that allow these terrorists to come in and kill our civilians. What do you think the government should be doing here, sir? And what should our defense apparatus look like if we have to avoid these incidents?
Firstly, condolences to the workers who have been killed and sympathies to their families. This is a pattern of Pakistan that whenever there is internal disturbance, they would like to do something in India so that in India things get provoked and they can give credentials to the India threat theory. And India threat theory gives them some kind of leverage within their country to say that we are the power who can save the country, and therefore perhaps they can put water on some of the fire which is on because of the internal security reasons in Pakistan and the atrocities which they have done in Pakistan. That is number one. Answering your second part of the question, what government should be doing. Certainly, government will do whatever security forces are on the move. They are trying to do their best. Government will do what it has to do, but more than that, I'll also come to the government part of it. The first thing is, it is whole of nation has to act, which includes the Kashmiris. There cannot be a terrorist attack without the help of supporter and collaborator, because without the collaborator is the one who gives the information, food, logistics, and things like that. So therefore, there are people who are helping them out, and that is why these attacks are happening, and they are happening in our territory. So therefore, every time you can't say that, okay, it is somebody else who is doing it. But yes, somebody else is making use of the kind of weaknesses which we carry in some manner or the other, number one. Number two, there have been a lot of weaknesses. Conviction rate of these supporters has been tremendously low. UAPA is a weak act. In fact, to the extent that recently, I think 2 days back, Supreme Court was commenting, somebody burned police station. He says the UAPA gives them bail. So they said, no, this is beyond UAPA. Now, these terror attacks are much beyond that. And we removed quota because all the parties in Kashmir, they were crying like hell that this is far too tough and too cruel for the terrorists and things like that. So law has to be strengthened, conviction rate has to be high, judiciary as well as the police has to be active in a manner that they have to genuinely produce evidences so that the acts lead to the convictions. Because unless there is a conviction, the supporters will not be scared, and we will continue to have this. And there are rhetoric after such acts which take place. See, every day you can't be going to war. Let's be very clear on that. If you ask Trump as to what is the cost of war, he will tell you, and how to get out of the war. That is also that. So this rhetoric, I mean, every terror attack cannot lead to that. But notwithstanding that, yes, we have to pull up our socks and be ready for anything. I think I had written about a month back that now that there is so much of disturbance in Pakistan, let's be clear, something is going to happen this side as well. So that is what perhaps is my take as far as this thing is concerned. These activities are concerned. If all Kashmiri community understands that these workers are important, and they know that their per capita income is very high. Without these workers, they cannot actually manage their fields as well. And everybody has to be protected. Why these workers only? Everybody has to be protected. The Kashmiris have to be protected. The Pandits have to be protected. Everybody has to be protected. And they are harming themselves. So this is perhaps something which must sink in everybody's head. Government can do, and as far as the legal issues are concerned, the EDs are concerned, these are the tasks of the government. Intelligence is the task of the government, which I think is lacking. If Mossad can manage so many guys in Iran, there is no reason why we cannot manage enough guys in Pakistan to sort out some of these terrorist leaders. So I think it's good in Bollywood movies, but notwithstanding that, on ground also something must happen. So that is my take. Vineet, back to you.
General Kulkarni, it's also imperative to understand that these workers are important for the reconstruction and the rebuild of Jammu and Kashmir. You know, if their spirits are going to be dampened by these regular terrorist attacks and killings, then obviously the morale which is going to go down is not going to be directly proportional to the kind of infrastructure mobility the central government has in mind.
Definitely, Vineet, it's very important, because after the abrogation of Article 370, it was, almost acceptable that yes, people will now be moving freely to help assist and to ensure the reconstruction of Jammu and Kashmir, resulting in massive development taking place and the need for these people over there. You see the houses of these poor boys in Chhattisgarh. That kind of a poverty I have not seen in the valley at all in entire service of mine. So you can imagine the kind of poor people going there for work, and then this is the way the treatment is done. But secondly, the TRF, the resistance front, has been formed only after the abrogation of Article 370. The very fact that it has been formed after the abrogation of Article 370 and the front of Lashkar-e-Taiba, we know what happened on the 5th of August 2019, the abrogation. All this, you see the head constable being killed daytime on the 22nd of July. We had almost 2,000 plus people, being scanned and being arrested, all the overground workers. Daytime, it was 22nd of July, not one man has yet been arrested for having murdered the head constable. Can you imagine? And of course, this incident has happened in the evening. But this is what it is. You need to say in daylight, in large job, if people don't know who murdered that head constable, impossible is the murder. What does that show? That there is a sizable number of people who still seem to harbor the fact that they are closer to the Pakistan. It's using terror as its state policy. We know what's going on in Pakistan at this point of time. All those talks and, they thought they could instigate in India. They couldn't. And now when they see the development, they see what has happened, they see that all that Azadi and everything is now cropping up in Pakistan and Kashmir. Now they are finding it difficult. You find the kind of statement emanating from Asim Munir. What does he say? कलमे की बुनियाद पर बनी है ये दो रियासतें, एक मदीना और दूसरा पाकिस्तान. Look at the way the Field Marshal is talking about. Look at the way and the mindset. And not just that, within India, you find some member of parliament from the parties that we all know what about. They still aren't happy with the abrogation of Article 370. They still are saying, no, we should not have been abrogated. If this is the kind of mindset that we have in India, despite having been benefited, despite the kind of development that they see, despite the kind of money that is invested, if the people there, now we had another minister, just I think it was in the morning today or something, he said, well, we don't know what it is. This law and order in the state, the central subject, please ask the Home Ministry about it. Imagine. The cabinet ministers, do they not know what's happening in their constituency? Do they not know what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir? And if they are disassociating themselves primarily because they want a statehood and therefore we don't know what's happening over there. You have the abrogation of Article 370 coming, we know what's going on over there. You know the kind of tourism development taking place, the Amarnath Yatra, the kind of security that is already existing, in during which if these kind of incidents do take place, is indicative that there's tremendous amount of overground workers working. There is a whole lot of this, a lot of people.
Let me rope in Mr. Ashwini Bhatt also, sir. There seems to be a problem with your network. We keep losing your video, sir. If you can log out and log in again, sir, perhaps we'll be able to look at you more clearly. Mr. Ashwini Bhatt, Kashmiri activist, also with us on the program. Mr. Bhatt, pleasure to have you here. What are you making of these terrorist attacks? They continue to happen. They continue to seep through and kill these innocent laborers. It is not only a terrorist attack, it's the attack on the mindset of the people who are looking for normalcy. It is also an attack on the aspirations of the government that wants to attract not only tourists but growth as well into Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for having me, Vineet. Always a pleasure. Look, rather than looking at the downstream impact or the effect of it, which you rightly explained, I think that makes sense. But I think we need to take a step back and look at it. What actually is the cause of it? Why is it happening? Look, this is a very old, age-old ploy of Pakistan to deflect from their domestic issues and domestic problems, and then use Kashmir or use their network in India, and specifically in Kashmir or Punjab, to deflect the attention. Look, what is happening right now in Pakistan? Pakistan is burning. Pakistan has its fault lines, its multiple fault lines, whether that is in Balochistan or POJK, or even for that matter of fact, along the entire Durand line with Afghanistan. They are all, all those fronts are live and kicking at this point in time. So in order to deflect the attention from the internal, intrinsic problems and the issues, it is a very, very easy and very cost-effective, ploy of Pakistan to create some trouble within India, specifically in Kashmir. And we have been, and honestly, I think, Kulkarni sir alluded to it. We had been actually talking about it since the POJK was on boil, that Pakistan will very soon try to deflect the attention. And on top of that, we should also include the recent intelligence report where Asim Munir has been caught with his hand in cookie jar. Asim Munir has Pakistan, specifically Pakistan as establishment, have supplied arms, Chinese arms, and supplied them via Pakistan to Iran. On one side, they are hobnobbing with the Trump administration in US, and on the other side, so they are playing both. They are playing both ways. So this is a very, very, very easy way for them to deflect the attention. Now, what needs to happen from here? Now, obviously, there are, every time as Major General Asthana ji said a while, for every such instance, we can't just open the borders and have a full-fledged war like Sindoor with Pakistan, because it has cost implications and the other implications on India as well. But we certainly, what we can do is pay our enemy in the same coin. Pakistan, it has half a dozen fault lines right now. And I think it's about time for India, not, in a reactive way, but come forward and actually take full advantage of those fault lines. For example, if that means supporting openly, not covertly, but overtly, supporting the POJK, whether that's by any means. We have got experts within our intelligence, as well as the armed forces, as well as the administration, capable of doing that. So if that means diplomatic, to the point, even armed support to PAJK, to Baloches. Yes, we should. We should have a Baloch government in exile, in India. We should have a makeshift embassy of Balochistan in New Delhi, right? Or we have got enough space available here, and give them and actually have a support a Baloch government in exile, and support not covertly but overtly, full-fledged support. Afghanistan, yes, we have got very good relations with Afghanistan right now. The only area where they are lacking is the air power. They don't have the air power. Now we don't need, and Ukraine has shown to the world, or for the matter of fact, even Iran, they don't need to have F-35s and Sukhois and aircrafts, or intercontinental ballistic missiles. Supply them with drones, supply them with defense mechanism. Why not? Why should we be? I think we need to pivot. We need to pivot from from that non-violence, non-aligned, non-violence kind of mindset, because Pakistan is not shying away from bringing this war and this turmoil to our doors, or for the matter of fact, within our country. So hit it where it hurts them the most. Be very blatant about it. We got $700 billion odd of foreign reserves in our kitty, and Pakistan is with a begging bowl. Hit them where it hurts the most. We don't need to have boots on the ground in Pakistan. There are enough boots there. Just supply them with whatever support that is required, and rest. I think let's up the ante a bit, temperature by a few notches.
Okay.
My limited points, Vineet.
General Asthana, Ashwini is right that we should hit Pakistan where it hurts most. We've already done that. The Indus Water Treaty is in abeyance. Pakistan is suffering as a result of that. What more do you think India can do to send them a message?
Taking off from where he left, you mentioned of Indus Water Treaty. I think that's a very good stand, and that's a very great initiative by the government. As far as the overt and covert options are concerned, I think we should still be in the covert option. I would look at capacity building more from the covert angle. Our intelligence agencies can certainly find enough poor guys. There are enough guys who are ready to do anything for money. Earlier, their intelligence agencies used to have an excuse that they are very religious minded. No, that's not the case, because there are enough people who have betrayed their own religion, whether it is Hezbollah or whether it is Iran. So money makes a difference. If Mossad can do it, certainly our intelligence agencies can also do it. Now, there are certain implications of the overt option. Now, overt option, let me put it in no uncertain terms. If you see the pattern of all the protests in POJK, the leaders are talking of independent Kashmir. There is not a single guy who has said that I want to join India. Nobody is saying that. And if you combine it with some of the awkward voices which are there in India, they are also talking of the Azad Kashmir, or Kashmir remove 370 is not a good idea. Removal of 370 was not a good idea, and things like that. So therefore, I don't think there is a synergy that side. If we compare the same case with Bangladesh, it was a totally different issue. They had Mukti Bahini, which was talking of slightly different thing, and they had a good leadership, which is missing in POJK. There are some leaders who are sitting abroad. They talk of POJK joining India, but they are not there on ground. So this is a very major dichotomy there. Also, let's not forget in fact, most of the terrorists who were there in Kargil, they were from POJK. Most of the soldiers were from NLI battalions, which is from POJK. So they are not holy cows as well. So let's not depend so much on that, because this is an analysis when we do. We say how much can you depend in case you try to play an option and you want to go over. So that is where perhaps the risks are. And I think covert, there are enough opportunities. I totally agree with Mr. Bhatt, that there are enough opportunities, there are enough fault lines which can be exploited, and there are ways, means of doing so, which I am sure the professionals who are dealing with it must be looking at it. I don't want to name them on the television, national television, because maybe perhaps some people maybe still be working on it, but there is no doubt, I totally agree with him, that there are fault lines which we must make use of it. And the issue of drones and all, I think that's a very good idea. And that's why I've been harping, we must make 2 lakh drones per month, although we are making only 40,000, whereas a small country like Taiwan is now looking at making 1 lakh drone a month. So I think we need to increase our capacity building in intelligence as well as in the other fields as well, Vineet.
Right. Well, we've run out of time. I'm just going to take a quick closing comment from General Kulkarni and Ashwini, and then we're going to wrap up. General Kulkarni, to you, sir. 30 seconds, please.
Definitely, I think there is a requirement, and not just overt, covert. Even within India also, we must knock off these people, be able to be very, very proactive and ensure that none of these overground workers, none of these people who are people said are allowed to even survive in this country. And there are people within also, very senior in political leadership who just don't seem to say openly and clearly that we all are Indians first, foremost, and every time, and they have nothing to do, and we will not let that happen. That doesn't seem to be coming out of them. We need to keep them under a total watch.
All right. Yeah. Ashwini?
Yeah. So again, what I meant by overt is obviously not grounds boots on ground on POJK. When I said overtly supporting with them, with arms and ammunition and diplomatic support is what I meant by, rather than doing it from a concealed way. That's number one. And number two, be nonchalant and blatant about it. Global. The UN is defunct. NATO is dismantled. World orders have totally collapsed. So let's get out of that mindset and be ruthless about our world affairs and policy, number one. And secondly, yes, be ruthless about cleansing whatever cockroaches we have within our country, the overground workers and the terrorism support infrastructure fund, right from the funding and all the elements. So absolutely,
All right. Fair enough, Ashwini. All right, appreciate you joining us.